Okay, so if you want to follow along, go ahead and open up Aminate. I have Aminate 2018. I believe that's what you guys are probably working with. Aminate is used to be Flash. With Aminate, you can create HTML5 documents. You could also convert your Flash document into an HTML5. We're going to keep this for this class. We're going to go File New. You're going to keep it as an ActionScript 3. Please make sure you do this. Do not make it an HTML5 canvas. You'll get lost in the class. You won't be able to do any of the work. Keep an ActionScript 3. You need to learn how to use ActionScript 3 before you do HTML5. And then keep it the standard size, 550 by 400 at 24 FPS, okay, frames per second, and then hit OK. I'm going to move this with the hand tool here so that you can see. I'm also going to make it bigger. Down here I can select the zoom tool and move it over a little bit more so you can see it. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to file, import an image. File, import. I'm going to import it to my library. That's in my library for me. Then it's going to go out to our folder for the class. And I'm going to select the monkey that I have and I'm going to hit OK. Now make sure that you just hit import. So make sure that you have your, you go to Windows and you have your properties in your library open up. You can just select them right here. Go to Windows, select any window that you want open up. So I'm going to go to library and my monkey is right there. And I'm going to drag it out onto the stage. And make it a little bigger so I can work on it. I'm going to use this tool right here, the free transform tool. Hold the shift key down to keep it constant. Okay. Then you go back and deselect it. Now I'm going to call this layer my monkey. Make sure you name your layers. I'm going to take points off if you don't. And I'm going to go down here and lock it. Okay, and I'm going to draw on top of it. So I'm going to go now. I look at this animal and I see a lot of circles. So I'm going to do the circles first. First I'm going to just try to figure out what color this is. If I select here with the little eyedropper and I can select the color and it'll pop right up down here. And then I'm going to make this nothing. I don't want any stroke. I'm going to select no stroke. So I'm going to go ahead and select the oval up here. I'm going to hold down the shift key. We got to make a new layer. So it's just telling me that this layer is locked. So I have to make a new layer on top of it. I'm going to call this the belly. I'm going to make the circle for the belly. Go back and have the oval selected. Now it doesn't have to be exact because you're going to work on this yourself. I'm going to select the select tool and move it around where I want it. Now I'm going to have to make another layer. You need to put everything on a layer. Please try to remember that. If you want to do any animations, you're going to have to put everything on a layer and you're going to convert whatever you want to animate, you're going to convert to a symbol. So I'm going to go back down and put another new layer on. We can actually put all this in a folder if you like. I'm going to call this head. I'm going to go back to the circle. I'm going to keep it the same color that it is. Now you see how it's really not that difficult to make these animals. Go back to the select tool. Okay, so far I have the head and the belly. Now I'm going to make the ears. The ears are just circles too. So I'm going to select this little circle again, but I'm going to make a new layer. I'm going to call this ear is on the right ear, so I'm going to call it right. Actually left because I'm facing it, so I'll just call it left. And I'm going to use the circle again. Now I want to make another ear, but I don't want to go ahead and have to draw it again, so I can just click it, the layer, and just duplicate it. So now I have, this is going to be my right ear. And I can go ahead and get the select tool and move it over. Okay. So far, you're beginning to realize that it's not really as difficult to create these animals as you think it might be. So now I'm going to start working on the arms and the tail. The arms are a little different colors, so I'm going to go ahead and select it. But I'm going to go up to the top. I'm going to put another layer in. I'm going to call this left arm. Now I'm going to have to use the pen tool. I'm going to bring this up so I can see what I'm doing. At this point, I'm going to lock on my other layers, just in case something moves. I don't want to, anything to move as I'm working on this and accidentally start working on the wrong layer. So it's really a good idea to keep it locked. I'm going to go and find the pen tool, which is this little tool right here, and it tells you it's the pen tool. Okay, so I'm going to click, and I'm going to find the point where it looks like it's starting to curve, and then I'm going to drag. And you see it has a handle there, and I can kind of adjust the handle. Now it's going to just do black, then I'm going to go right at that point. Then I'm going to make the finger. If I don't like what I have, I can just click it. I might just go and if you open this up, it opens up to delete. You can delete those points. And go back to the pen tool. Pick up where you left off. Takes a little time to do this. You should go to the point where it's starting to curve. Don't worry if it's not perfect, because you can go back and work on it. And it doesn't have to be exactly the same anyway. Go to a point where it's curving. I'm going to go in a little bit because I want it to go into the body a little bit. You can move the arm. I'm going to get rid of the black, but at first I'm going to adjust it, and I'm going to go to the subselect tool and adjust it to the way I want it. Now you see you can go back and rework this by selecting the subselect tool. You see what you like and what you don't like. Maybe you want the arm a little come down a little bit more. You can grab the handles. You just have to hold the mouse down and highlight it. That's how you get it to open up. Maybe I want the arm a little bigger than what's in the original. Doesn't have to look exactly like the original. You can kind of work with this. Maybe the thumb a little bigger. Maybe a little more curvy. If you don't like what you have, again, you can just hold down the pen tool and take a delete if I'm not really crazy over what's there. See, sometimes you get stray points, so you gotta just kind of make sure that you don't. Okay, I think I pretty much got it, but I'm still not really crazy over that little spot there. Right in there. That's it. There we go. So you gotta find the point is what the hard part is. Find the point that you don't want. Okay. Somehow it's making more points, and I don't know why. Shouldn't be doing that. I'm just going to get rid of it. So I'm just going to get rid of it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the pen tool. I'm going to connect it. We've got one, and then connect to this one. Okay. So now I'm going to get rid of the black and I'm going to actually put the color in. In order to put the color in, I have to select down here where it says make sure to fill, and then go to the fill bucket and then fill it. Then now watch this. I'm going to move this arm in here. Everything's locked, so I don't have to worry about losing anything. And I'm going to select all this and delete it. And move the arm back. Alright, now I have one arm and I'm going to use it to make the other arm. So I'm just going to copy it. I'm going to right click and I'm going to duplicate the layer, and I'm going to call this right arm. Again, make sure you name all your layers. I will take points off if you don't, because it will get messed up in your file if you don't name your layers. Right arm. Now the reason why I'm doing this again is because I want to create some movement when I start working with my file. So now I want to adjust this arm. I can actually select this tool right here, the transform tool, and just turn it around. I want this arm to go up instead of down. So I can do it like this. Just wait until it turns. It's like he's saying hi. Okay. So I'm also going to, since I have a different color, I'm going to unlock these layers for a minute. I'm going to move the arm in back. I'm just going to drag the layer and I'm going to put it right in back of the body. Okay, so now both the arms are in back of the body. Now I'm going to make the tail. I'm going back up to the top. Actually, I want the tail to be in the back too. So I'm just going to select right at this layer here, and I'm going to put a new layer on. I'm going to want it to go in back of the arms, and I'm going to call this tail. I'm going to move this so you can see it. I'm going to make the tail, and we're going to make the feet. I'll do the tail first. Now you're going to have to use the pen tool for the tail too. And the tail is going to be the same color as the body. So I'm going to select that. Grab the pen tool. So I'm going to go in a little bit. Find where it looks like it's starting to curve. You don't want to make it too deep because it's really hard to work when you do. Try not to put too many points in. The more points you have, the larger your file is going to be. If it seems to be doing that, sometimes you can just click right there and then just do it again. Just follow along. You got to click and drag, and that's what makes your don't mind if it does that. That's what makes your little points here so that your bezier curves so that you can work on your file. If I select the subselect tool, and you'll see that that's how you get your bezier curves, by clicking and dragging. And I showed you just how to do this in a previous tutorial. So if you want to work with it a little bit, you can go back and work on it. Maybe you might want to change it from what is in the original. It doesn't have to look, like I said, exactly like the original. Maybe you want to give them a bigger tail. Make the tail look fatter. Totally up to you. Make it look like it's fat and then going down to small. So now again, I'm going to put in the color. I'm going to hit the paint bucket up here. I'm going to put in the color. And I'm going to move it so that I can get rid of the, just move it up so I can get rid of this black here, the black lines. It automatically makes these lines. There's nothing you could, oops, we got to go lock our layers again. So that's what ends up happening. You got to make sure everything's locked except for the tail. I'm going to go through and lock everything. You'll start working on the wrong layer if you don't lock it. So I'm going to go and I'm going to get rid of this now. Just hit delete. Okay. And then I'm going to bring the tail back and place it. Now all I have left to do is the feet. So I'm going to do the feet now. Get the pen tool. And the color is going to be, I got to go find my little eyedropper again. All these programs are a little different, so it's hard to find things in each one. Going to select this color. Okay. Grab the pen tool. Start right here. Oh, make sure you put in a new layer. I almost forgot. So I'm going to make this left leg. You don't want to, if you want to make these move, you want your animals to look like they're moving, you're going to have to put them on all their own separate layer. So make the left leg. And then you close your, then I'm going to put the color in again, the paint bucket. I'm going to move it and get rid of the lines. Move it back again. So it's already going behind the body because that's where I have it in my timeline here. That's my layer. Okay, my layer is below the body. We're going to duplicate this to make the other leg. And I'm going to call this right leg. Okay, so now I'm going to just grab it and move it. I'm going to modify, transform horizontal, and that's going to turn it for me. Okay, so far so good. So now I'm going to remove this little image that I have in the back. I'm going to go all the way down and make sure everything's locked. And I'm going to undo the monkey. I'm going to move it out. There it is. Oops. Very sensitive program. I'm going to make it small. So down the shift key, keep it constant. So I'm going to start working on this animal that I have. Okay. Now I notice that the arm is out over here, so I can go back and fix that. But now it's very easy because I have right arm. I can just grab it and unlock it and move it. That's why you have to make sure that you work on the right layer. You make a layer for everything. So now I'm going to make this little area here for the belly. They're very easy to do, and I'm going to do that right where the belly is. I'm going to put a layer on top of it. I'm going to call this center belly. And I'm going to grab that color again, find the eyedropper, and just select this color, and it changes. And I'm going to select no stroke because I'm using a circle. I don't need the stroke. Grab the circle again. Okay, so now this is a little different. You see how it's going underneath because that's how I have it set. I have it set underneath the head. Okay, I want to make it just select the transform tool, and I can move it a little bit, make it a little different. Okay. So I want to make sure it's in the center. I can just select undo the belly here, unlock it, use the transform tool, and it shows me where the center is. And I just have to, its view should be the rulers. I can just select my rulers and guides. So guides, I'm going to use rulers too. Rulers. Okay, so then I can just go out to the edge and make a guide for the center here and make sure everything is centered. Okay, so now if I select this, and I can just move it so it's right in the center, so it will be perfect. Okay, I'm going to lock these though. Make sure you lock. Now I'm going to go up and do the head. Okay, you notice that the head is circles too. Actually, let's just figure this out. I'm going to make a circle. You can actually draw it out, but I think it's probably easier to draw this out. So let me just make a new layer, put it on the head. I'm going to call this face. Use the pen tool. Let's try this. So about right here. Okay. So just about right there. You want to get it onto the head. And then you could, if you grab this guideline, it will tell you where to put the next. I'm going to put it right there. Now I don't like that, so I'm going to delete it. I'm going to just select this, click on it, and then go out. That will be better. Okay. And I'm going to click on this one too. So now I'm going to figure out how to do this. I'm just going to select right in here, just about right there. I can use this tool just to help me to adjust it to how I want it. And I'm going to make the little heart. So I'm going to just kind of click on that, go back to my pen tool, click there, and about right here, I'm going to edit undo. And maybe I have to click this point and then just go right about there. Not sure why it's doing that. Maybe if I takes a little practice, a little work to do this. Believe me, it's not always as easy as you think. There we go. That should do it now. There you go. Okay, so I'm going to move this. You have to remember to go back if you want to move it, to use the sub-select tool and get it the way you want it. Okay, so I'm liking what I have so far. Go back to the pen tool. And then I'm going to select right there at the start, and I'll make another one. So if I wanted to make sure that it's going to be pretty much even, so I have to kind of figure out kind of approximately where, if I was really going to do this, you know, and I wanted it to be perfect, then I would, so I'm going to say about right there. Looks pretty much like where I want it to go. So that it will be the same as the other side. If you just have to go to edit undo if you have problems. So we're going to bring it right down to about here. And you could just get the sub-select tool and just adjust it. So pretty much try to get it the same. Doesn't look like it's the same, then you could just kind of work on that. Then you're going to want to click this again. And then you're going to bring it out so that it comes to, I'm going to just kind of, yep. So sometimes you have to just really make sure that you click right on that dot to get rid of that. I don't know why it's doing that. Had the same problem with the other one. Not sure why. There we go. Now don't worry if it's not perfect, because you can go back and work on it. You can go back, get the sub-select tool and work on it. Try to make them as close to being the same as you want. Takes a little work to do this. It's not easy. But you're going to, the first one will be the hardest. After that, they'll get a little bit easier. You just have to kind of grab it. So they look pretty similar. There's another way you could do it. You could just do one half, one side, and then just do the other side. It just takes too much time. I'm not going to really do all that. Try to get this into the center here. Or maybe you make it come down even more. All right, that's good enough. So now I'm going to put the color in. I'm going to go and select this color. And I'm going to fill it in with the paint bucket. And I'm going to move it. And I'm going to get rid of this. And move it back. Make sure you have the select tool. Each tool is specific for what you're using it for. Okay. Get it in there. Don't worry about it. You can always go back and work on it. But this is just an exercise showing you how to do it. I know I get crazy because I want everything to be perfect. Okay, so now you can notice that the eyes are pretty easy. They're just circles, but I'm going to lock this face. And I'm going to make another layer that says eye left. It's just that I want to copy and paste, so I need to have all these layers. And I'm going to make this black. Make the eyes. I'm going to make it a little bigger than what's in here. I like that. Kind of position it to where you want it. See, if you notice, you got to get rid of this. I forgot to. Let's just put this nothing. No stroke. Bring it over. Then I'm going to duplicate this. I want to make sure that the eyes line up at the same, so I'm going to just draw my guide. Okay. Then I'm going to duplicate this. Create another eye. Bring it over. Okay. Now we have our two eyes. So we have eye right, eye left. So the nose is pretty easy. If you want to put little white dots in there, you can put those right in with the eyes. Just change this to white. I make a little white dot. Whoops. See, it changed the color. Let's go get another dot and make a little dot. You put it right up there. And put one, and then do the other eye, do the same. Put it right there. Okay. So far I like what I have. I mean, you could even make the eyes move. If you put everything on a layer, you can make the eyes move in anything. Then I'm going to make the nose. So I'm going to just go ahead. I'm going to select this color. With the eyedropper, I'm going to select the little brown here, color here for the nose. I'm going to select, for some reason, red. I'm not sure why. Let's try it again. It doesn't look red to me. That's not even red. All right. So then I'm going to make a new layer. I'm going to call it nose. Now, if you start having so many layers and everything, you're going to want to put them inside a folder. For this exercise, I'm not going to really bother to do that because I'm just trying to show you how to do this. I'm making a nose. Okay. And I want that nose to go in the center. So if I select it and select the scale here, I can get that into the center of the face. Make sure that this is in the center too, but I have that locked. You can go back and just adjust all these. So it's very simple now. I'm going to make the mouth, make another layer for the mouth. It's just so much easier to make layers for everything, because if you make an error, all you have to do is just get rid of your layers. So I'm just going to click right here. Okay, I got one. I'm going to make another one for the other side. I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to just move it so that they both be the same. We'll modify, transform, flip, put it together. Okay, so you might want to put the nose in front of it so it's on top. There. Okay. So all we need now is just those two little pink spots, and we're all done with this monkey. So I'm just going to make another layer, and I'm going to call this cheek. I'm going to call it left cheek. And I'm going to choose this little color here. I'm going to make sure there's no stroke. And I'm going to select the little eyedropper, this little pink color. And I'm going to select the circle again. Do it on one side. Like it. Make sure you have it where you want it. Just the select tool. Move it. Okay, so what I'm going to do again, I'm going to duplicate it. And I have another one. And I'm going to bring it over and put it right about there. Okay, so now I've noticed this one is a little bit deeper than the other one, so I'm going to go back to the face. So if you have all your layers named, very easy. I'm going to unlock it. And I'm going to select the face and this section right here, and I'm going to move it up so it's not quite so deep. Okay, and I'm going to just bring this down a little bit. Okay, so I think it looks a little better. And I may want to work on this side too. I'm not sure if I like that. So you could just keep adjusting it until you get it just the way you want it. Maybe I might even want to make the head a little bit smaller. So if I find my head. If you have everything labeled, it's so easy to do. I can select my head, but you know, in the meantime, you might want to make sure everything else is locked so you don't select the wrong layers. And just work with the head. Get the just bring it in a little bit. Okay. Yeah. I like what I have. Let me just make this small. There we go. Okay. Not bad. Alright, so I got my monkey all set and all ready. I got him on all different layers. And I did one animal. And I basically used just two tools. I basically used the circle tool and the oval tool, and I used the pen tool. So it really isn't as difficult as you think. Now you're going to want to maybe collect all these and just put them. You can make a folder and call this folder monkey. And just drag all these. You got to unlock them first. Drag them all into the folder. Because otherwise, you know, you're going to have, let me just select them, put them into the folder, and do the same. Select all these, unlock them. You can make the folder first if you want and put it in. And just drag them all into the monkey folder. Okay, you close it up. Now you don't have all those layers showing up all the time. Makes it really easy to work with. You can open it up. Now you notice when you're making your animals, do not put them on any keyframes. Just keep them on the first keyframe, okay? When you start working on animation is when you're going to start putting in keyframe. For some reason, every time I have new designers working in this program, I have them creating a million keyframes, and it's like for no reason at all. Just keep your animals on the first keyframe, and when you start working with the keyframes and doing your animation, that is when you're going to go and make keyframes. Say I wanted to make the let me just do one. Just let me say I want the left leg to move from this point to this point. Okay, and I can put a keyframe in, insert a keyframe. See what happens is because I didn't insert a keyframe for everything else, everything disappears. So these are, this is the reason why you have to be real careful. So now I have to go through and I have to put a keyframe on everything. So I have to start with that one, I have to go down into that one, and then I have to put a keyframe everywhere. So I'm going to insert a keyframe. Alright, but let's just say I just want to make the leg move. So I can just select the left leg, this keyframe, and move the leg. You know, you're going to be using ActionScript and all kinds of good stuff. So maybe I just want the leg to go up. Let me just do this. You're going to be using ActionScript, and you're going to be using tweens and everything else. And let's just see what happens. If this keyframe is there, this keyframe is there. Maybe I'll move the right leg too. So at keyframe 5, I'll do something different with the right leg. Maybe I'll do the same thing with that one. Make it go up. Alright, so if I start the first keyframe and then I play it, that's all that's going to happen. Nothing fancy. But you can make your, inside your folder, you can put everything inside your folder, and you can make your animations inside your folder. But create all your animals on the first keyframe. Don't put any animations or do anything on them. Just create your animals. Put everything on its own layer. It'll make it a lot easier for you to work with your project when you start going through. If you don't do this, then you're going to regret it. Now, I'm going to get rid of that monkey in the background if I open this up. Make sure you get rid of the animal that you're working on. This one right here, I'm going to trash it. I don't need it anymore. And I created my own monkey. I have it on all its own layers. You want to make this very friendly for children, okay? Don't make scary animals. Find some animals online that you know that are fun and represent children between the ages of 3 to 5. These are very little children. Okay, so that's it. I hope this will help you.